I'd like to stop Tick from falling down the rabbit hole. It's okay to identify, hey, you know, this kind of woke thing that's going on right now, you know, like the trans thing, the way these guys talk now, it's like they sound a lot like the Nazis, and guess what? They appear to have quite a very similar religious zeal going on. Seems like they're cut from the same cloth in some regards as to what they think the world is. So James Lindsay goes in with a hammer. He's trying not to turn it into woo. And he's doing a decent job of it, I think, to press. Although he's one of these people, his brain's going 100 miles an hour, 20 hours a day probably. So he'll definitely be wading into the woo. And then he'll find that a new breed of stalker or else our opposition are going to arise now, and they're going to be people who will try to cast spells on him and the like. What? Yes. Poison pen letters and people trying to send you on a bum steer or point fingers and apply additional labels, in essence, look to split. Talking about the one thing into, oh, what about these, what about these, what about these, and then throwing groups at it, throwing names of groups at it. Because the thing that will fuck it up for Tick when he's saying, hey, because he's over at top saying it's like Hitler's like fucking crackpot, narcissist, omnipotent. They thought they were gods. And they fucked up everywhere because the real world, God, didn't cooperate with them. At every level of the game, in the end, did not cooperate with them. And appears to have overcome them with, the World War II. It's like, how many levels of the game do you want to hear stories of a fight? A real fucking fight. In four corners of the world. A murderous affair. So what happens is it's like they tapped into like primal forces in their own people and called it more sophisticated, we're better. Tapped into primal forces. They're saying one thing. And the people on the ground are relishing that they're now big shots and they get to bully people. So it's like, join the SS. Are you a bit of a useless fucker? Unemployed? Got a bit of a nasty streak? Criminal record? Hey, why not join the SS? Don't like signing up for a job. The water's muddied with the one or two elite battalions of the SS. And then the other clean up and dirty tricks partisan side of the SS. Or we just let a load of criminals loose to do what they want in a foreign country. Hell of a weapon of war. If you're a dickhead, if you're in prison for being violent or mentally ill, there was a place for you in the SS. And they'd just export you to another country to be a fucking cunt. Just to be a bully and a cunt and to spread fear. You're perfect for the job. Have a cigar and a promotion. They got it well and truly upside down by the time like the late 30s came along. There are a few years of thinking in this easy way of us and them. And the glad hand and smile. Starting to believe it themselves. Nazi Germany started a war they couldn't hope to win in order to save themselves from bankruptcy and embarrassment. Another way of talking about it. Or you can be like my grandfather, who like like served every day of World War II in the Merchant Navy, on the Atlantic, in the engine room. Like every time someone dropped a fucking hammer, everyone must have shit their pants thinking a torpedo had just struck the fucking boat. As he used to say, worst things happen at sea. Told me, you'll never earn enough money to vote Conservative. What? It's like, yeah, they think a different way. And I think I know what he was talking about, because he was talking about the 1980s, where the sides have flipped. I know exactly what he was fucking talking about. Cunts liking to be cunts. And he told me that World War II was about oil. Not just for Germany, but also for Japan. Like, anything beyond that is just hawk and bullshit. And a legend or a story. But it's like these legends and stories get out of control, don't they? And these legends and stories, in their end, manifested as the Holocaust. And I look at the Holocaust now and I think, how much money did they make out of doing that? Just offing all those people and seizing all their worldly goods. They took all the valuable things with them so they could just, well, it's like they're self-selecting. Get off the train playing the classical waltz music. You get off the train and they try to trick you that this is like a transit and you'll be getting on a train somewhere else. This is a transit camp and it's actually a death camp. You'd been tricked into cooperating and giving up all your stuff, and they're even giving you receipts for the stuff that you've given them. Yeah. And then send them to the showers, they never come out of the showers. And the method they've found for killing people be the cheapest way they could come up with to do it, using an industrial byproduct of it. It's like an industrial byproduct from the production of something else. What's it good for? Well, in a large enough dose, it'll kill a rat. Will it kill a human? Yeah, but it might take 20 minutes, but yeah, eventually. They'll just, just paralyse the lungs, they'll stop breathing. Can we have a demonstration? And it's like, this happened for real. It's like, yeah. It's like they got so desperate to keep the country going that they started thieving. And it's like, to me, I look at it now and I'm like, you know what, when they were doing it, that Holocaust, terrible, terrible act, but it was a money spinner, wasn't it? It was just flat out that. It was about stealing all these people's property. They drained the money out of them as working people, and then it was a matter of, how do we get the last of what they've got? We'll kill them all and steal all the stuff. Yeah, we could, couldn't we? And once that idea of that we can make some money here, we can help our economy, we can like recycle these people. It's like, where do you get that from? Well, it's like painted as the devil, the demiurge. It's like anyone who does that to somebody else in the minds of thugs, because you need sadistic people to do the wet work. Something I've pointed to in the past where people have said, it's all mostly bullshit. Holocaust denialists who, love this topic. They just love jumping all over it. It's like, it's easy, isn't it? You really wind people up, can't you? And it'd be a laugh. So there's people jump on it, and then they learn how to kind of argue it. And I'm like, my throwback against them, and they've hated me for it, is to say, and being like 2017 and saying, What about all those fucking Ukrainians who used to have a day job, rounding them all up, taking them out into the forest and then shooting them and fucking burying them? About those guys. Most of them just went back to being normal cops after the war. What about those fucking guys? It's like, how many of them saw justice? Oh, none. Okay, so every Nazi collaborator, because Nazi collaborators, like, join the cunt club. What they're going to have you doing? Cause any kind of trouble. Any kind. Okay, I can probably manage that, and we'll pay you. What? Yeah, just be an absolute fucking twat to these people. Oh, well, that's cool, because you know where I come from, most people think I'm the biggest fucking knobhead. And when I run my mouth, they tend to smash me in the face for it in my local tavern. But no, you're going to give me a uniform and put me within the government's sort of employment corporate umbrella. And I get to then have power and bully people. Where do I sign up? You get people who do that job and sign up and be working for like the minimum whack. Do it for shit wages, do it for poverty wages because they enjoy the power of it. You see them walking around, don't you, them traffic wardens where they're like, I've got you by the balls here. It's like, you what? As soon as you turn, just give them the look. They're gone. Almost running away. Once in that first instance, they can't get you to start simpering and asking for mercy and the like, so they can feel good about themselves by like giving you a chance, or they can decide to say fuck you, and you know you're getting a ticket. It's like those kind of people who will willingly, because they enjoy it, enforce an injustice because they enjoy it. It's funny to them. Like, if you don't recognise there's people in the world like that, it's like those people will sneak up on you and get themselves in positions of power. And you're like, no, surely there's not really people like that. It's like anyone who says that's lying and knows at least half a dozen people within their lifetime who've been exactly that person. There are those of us who understand something of cruelty. We don't forget. It's something most people can't abide in social circles, but I tell you what, put it in the Nazi party and they'll put you to work. He's a ruthless and cruel bastard. No, he's just who we're looking for. But yeah, World War II, you can get sucked into it and start talking about it, and you could be still talking about it in 10 years' time and go down all kinds of different avenues of all kinds of different fuck things that happen in so many fucked places. It's like, get to talking about Japanese prisoners of war, and it's a matter of, why hasn't any fucking action really been taken about those cunts? It's like, fair enough, they dropped a big bomb on one of the cities and just like went, right, you have that. It will show you barbaric. Fucking leave it. Whack. We'll show you what fucked looks like. They were savage fucking twats. The Japanese, in their way, they were Gnostic too. They believed themselves. This is where the notion of Zionism, right? Zionism gets, as soon as you say that, people go, huh? No. I propose to you guys, all of you guys, that Zionism is any movement that lays claim to be in some way God's chosen people and would call where we come from the centre of the earth. Anyone who cracks on like that is a Zionist. Zionism isn't just Zionism. You can have many different versions of it. So you'll have black Zionism. You'll have black Zionism being the Nation of Islam, the crap they talk about, the out of Africa thing, that's black Zionism. We claim the throne of the chosen people. Hebrews were God's chosen people. Hebrews, not Jews. Jews were in the Bible. Jews will claim that they're descendant from the Hebrews, but there are those of us who are like, I don't think so. Doesn't matter anyway. You're all people of the book. You guys play a central figure. Not so much wrong with your religion, but there are a fucking big problem with your leaders of it. Your Pharisees, just men. Just men. I'm not saying they were just. I'm saying they were just men. So you've turned it into a little bit of a clique, and it's like the Messiah myth in the Jew religion is what needed to be destroyed. That was what Jesus was hopefully having done, right? When they say the Messiah, it's like you don't have to wait for no more Messiahs. The Messiah's been and he went, and this is what he said, right? So Jesus, right? Messiah placeholder. Okay, Messiah placeholder. So there need be no more Messiahs. That's what it's supposed to be. It's like this is the end of your religion. He finished it. And when your Messiah, this wise man, this enlightened soul, when he came to you and spoke a word of truth, you fucking killed him. You didn't just kill him. You crucified him in front of a lot of people, and you allowed Jesus to lay on the most effective and longest lasting fucking fuck you self-harm guilt trip in the history of the world, and in that be a miracle as to where everyone, when the blood settled down from that, would be to say, what have we done to that man? What have we done? And that be where he lived with them forever. It's like blood magic extraordinaire as to where Jesus in heaven's like, ta-da, told you I'd make me mark. Told you I'd make me mark. See that? Made myself blood sacrifice. He triggered a clause in what was the Jewish faith about the Messiah. Because the Messiah is only going to come before the end of days. And if the Messiah appears, or someone claiming to be the Messiah appears, mouthing off. And it's not the end of days. It's not really the Messiah. He's an apostate, and you should fucking crucify him for his apostasy. Why? Because he's upset a lot of people, and he's upset a lot of our earners. And we've got positions in this community. We're princes, we're dukes, we're kings, you know. The only time we'll allow for that kind of emergency action is when it's the end of days. Is it the end of days? Nope. We don't need no fucking mystics from the desert right now. So your Gnostic faith, right, sidelines Jesus as being the Messiah and the end of the messianic chain by saying as to where, hang on a minute, there appears to have been a few of these guys, and Jesus could be, and this is right to say, actually, I hold with this, Jesus, right, be like the latest in a long, and I make a distinction, a big distinction. Jesus would be one in a long line of lawgivers, and they be the key people in religions. People who held court and actually laid, in the case of Moses, laid down the law. They're all characters from the book, but all could be said to be aspects of the same, and that's what God supposedly is. They could all be seen as aspects of the same. So if you distill that aspect of the same, it's a matter of God sends lawgivers, lawmen, protectors. That's who God sends. And it's like, funnily enough, all of history says if you had lads that were well capable of doing that, you might have, your people might have fucking survived. If you had decent warriors, who knew what they were fighting for, maybe you might do okay. And it just turns out, all of history. If your warriors weren't strong enough to repel the Vikings, you got slaved out. It's like there's very few of the Celts left. The Vikings just rounded them all up and just moved them wherever best suited them. So I'm a Collins, you see. Collins is again like a Viking name. It's like you're a colonial. What? Your Collinses. Where's the world full of Collinses? Well, Cork, Kerry. Okay, go away and find out how long Cork's been a place. And it was originally a Viking colony, and they had that word. And if you're a Collins, you're a Viking colonist. You've got a name, colonist. It's like colonial warrior, marine, invader. And eventually, we just decided to leave it, and we all ended up in the shit together. When we down tools and, bigger warlords came along than any of us, we all bent the knee in the end. We all bent the knee to the rich king, who can tax the poets and the people. It's like Vikings believed in living gods, and that's like the best way I can explain in the modern era about what the living gods are to people who might not have never had the kinds of experience that you could associate with that kind of notion as to where a religion like that, without outside influence, could survive for 1,000 years or more. And that be basically states of being attributed to the presence of the living gods. Like what? It's like nowadays I attribute it to things like, have you ever got up to a 30 kill streak at Battlefield? It's like I have. And they booted me off the server. It's like he must be cheating, he's having such a good... And I was just good. That day, it was like, I was just good. I'd like upgraded my computer and my graphic settings were just helping me in every way see everyone. And I'm like, I can see everyone now. Dead. Kicked off the server. You must be cheating. You're killing so many people with the armoured personnel carrier. It's like, I'm just good at driving them. And it's like, I think about running people over before I try shooting them. You have to stop to shoot them. Like, I'm crushing people with this vehicle and they don't know how to handle it because they think I'm going to shoot at them and I just run them over. So like combined sort of Mad Max gun and wheel sort of kill streak, and it's like when you're at 30, you're just about to get kicked off the server and you're like, everything's working as it should. You've found form, and you're in form, and you're playing real well, and then they kick you off the server, and it's gone. But what usually happens is, you get excited and you get ahead of yourself, right? And then you get yourself killed. The second you start to think that this is actually easy, and it's not that you're doing well, it's that you're having a purple patch, you found some form, you are focused in the moment you are doing. And that don't last long. Because you start to think that war is easy and get yourself killed. So in those shield wall sort of situations, as to where the sort of battle language of the small unit Viking who cause you 20, 30 of those guys cause you a fucking problem. You know, like, oh shit. Well, yeah, you know, 20 or 30 Vikings is a big problem. And it'd be a matter of they didn't like taking casualties because you were just dead, weren't you? They couldn't take you home. You're going to bleed all over the fucking boat. So they were the first sort of people fought against, who were primarily about, we're going to try and kill you and take the least number of casualties, none if we can get away with it. So we've got these shield wall, open the shield wall, and we've got a discipline in battle that makes it so we stick together. And it's like, well, what's that discipline about? And it's like, well, individually, it's like if you get to it as to where you're having a right good fight, regardless if it's imaginative, it's about focus. So it could be a video game, could be a game of football, you could be having the game of your life. If you're of that faith, before you turned up on the battlefield, you'd have prayed to a couple of different gods to be with you. On that field, you want Odin on your side, right, with the rage and the fury, right? But you also want Freya, because Freya is that feeling when it seems easy, because you're not fighting no more. Freya's fighting for you. Now, if you're a Viking and you get as to where you're having that moment as to where, hey, I'm doing all right here, you're about to get cut off from the rest of your mates and you're going to die because you've overextended. So you catch animals, isn't it? And whatever, overextend, dead. Doesn't matter how good you are. It's like them understanding that Freya was doing the work stops them getting ahead of themselves when they remember that I am just a man, and thank Freya for the little bit of like forced boost you give me. It's like living gods are experiential. Not that they're wise, no, they're experiential. Now, people who, say, do combat, actual, probably better off fighters, not to the death, not soldiers. Turn soldiers into that, and you'd have the Sadhu-Kar, you'd have terror troops, you'd have it where, guys, go and kill everyone in that town, man, woman and child. Yes, sir, and they enjoy it. Have an army like that, it's like, well, that's what you'd end up with if you go that far down thinking about it like that. But gamers, right, and like martial artists, they do well to have a grip on the gods whose influence you can feel in that moment, like in the Rocky movie when you're having your lowest point in a fight and you get that second wind. It's like those of faith might be thinking that God decided to help them. They might have prayed, God help me. Not today. Come back, fight. So it's like understanding that, changes in like how you feel by way of like elation, or as a guard against despair. The omens were good for this fight. If the omens weren't good, we wouldn't have fought. We've got to be right to stick in this fight. They'll break before we do. And if you've got better numbers, better arms, and better fighters, it could be said that your God was right. Your omens were good. And he'd be right. Like, I think every man understands in their own way gods of war. The Norse had an elegant way of talking about it, but that's not gone from the world. Not that those gods are real, but those experiences are. And how do we process them? Well, to talk about them, to be able to relate them, the Vikings would be saying, I felt that Odin was with us. Me too, got art going, yeah. And that togetherness and that experiences are just in that moment, they were all Odin, they were all Freya. And they'd be thinking, you know, if there were enough of us, imagine how powerful our gods would be. And that makes sense to them. Like, we live in the same world as that. What creates Vikings? Well, I've been playing the part over the years because I don't drink so much and I've been travelling around. I've either been at home or travelling around for the last 20 years. So I play the part of Odin a lot. Talking to strangers in pubs and train stations, on trains, on buses. Listening to what they have to say, sharing a word of advice, and then disappearing and never being seen again. Odin is at home in the pub. He's a god of the pub, Odin. What, John? So yeah, he's a guy who is separate from his sons. He's separated from them. And he's thinking about them. And he spends a lot of time thinking about them, but he's separated from them. He's the single father. And the Vikings are children of an absent father. What did they used to do? Or disappear on a boat down a river, across a sea. Did they come back? Usually, but not always. Sometimes they get fucking leathered. And just a few come back. Sometimes no one comes back at all. So then, father becomes a legend. And we speak of him being in the dining in Valhalla, in the great halls, with Odin and all the gods. Because that's better than telling him, look kid, we've no way of ever knowing that if he's dead or alive. We will never receive word of him. One day he turns up, it would be a miracle. So instead of facing that, we tell ourselves stories that he's now feasting in the afterlife, whether he's dead. And then you go and find some creepy fucking rune reading crackpot fantasist who will tell you, yeah, he's up at, I can see him. I can see him. Well, the odds he's going to be wrong when someone disappeared fucking 1,000 miles away in them days. Well, the odds of him being wrong when he says, I can see him in my mind's eye. He's feasting with his friends. He's with his father and his uncles and his first wife who he killed. It's like, it's as sophisticated as you fucking need it to be, isn't it? For the needs of basic living. But the parallels of Norse religion and what has become of sort of the spiritual health of our society, they've been smashing me in the face for now 20 years. As to what is this? What are you? And it'd be superstitious people, hyper vigilant. We've got words for them in psychology, but the way that they play out in the real world is get them before they get us. Fuck them over before they fuck us over when they find out what we're up to. It could be said for a fact, a guy like Tick, where he's addressing World War II. It's like, he really should stop at, look, this is the most dangerous rhetoric and propaganda that's ever been put out that had the worst repercussions. And this is what they're doing now. This is the crackpot rhetoric they told each other to remind themselves that they were the greatest and that they were doing the will of the Almighty. And look at some of the rhetoric people throw at each other these days as to where we're on the right side of history. Same game. Different wording. We're on the right side of history, so everyone else is wrong. And you always hear it be an individual say, we are on the right side of history. It's like, who do you speak for? You and the imaginary legion of people just like you in your fucking head? As to where, you're from the Bible, aren't you? And the answer be, yes. There is no fucking we. There is no arsehole who throws out into the world. No one wants to know what you're talking about. No one cares what you say. It's like, you know that. And that should be all that you really need to know about someone as to where they stand. And it's like, well, they believe they stand for many. They're a collectivist. But that individual, to have ended up in that mindset, is a piece of fucking work already. To have to reach for that kind of cowardice, because that's what it is, just to conform. You're looking at a broken individual, and they have all the characteristics of broken individuals. They're fucking half crazy, manic, elated, depressed, dependent, addicted. They are afflicted. Many of them by, through no fault of their own. And then they've been misled. The abuse is one thing, you'll never get away from that. As long as there'll be humans, there'll be people who enjoy being cunts to kids, think it's funny. There'll always be that. But to have been misled by my generation mostly, the way that they have, is one of the greatest crimes in history. And the Gnostic nonsense, the we, and the we don't we. Who's we? The royal we, or you're speaking because you're the king. The royal we, that's what it means. When the Queen says we, she speaks for Britain as its queen. And it's like, if you've got any doubts as to what that means, go and do your best to get a face-to-face with King Charles III. It's like you'd be trying every day for the rest of your life and you wouldn't get to see the guy unless you turned up at some fucking do. And then because you've been so keen to spend some time with him, they won't let you anywhere near the place. You're obviously a fucking crackpot, aren't you? You fucking weirdo. You might try and stab him. The trick would be to get one of them prop knives and them prop daggers they use in horror movies where it's just telescopic and it just spring on a spring. The best one of that, wouldn't it, would be to get up behind Charles with one of them and give it him with kidney and everybody, and he's, no, I'm just fucking with you, it's one of them prop knives. It would be the funniest TikTokist video in the history of the world, and you'd also go to jail for it. Just saying, but wouldn't it be funny? I think that faked stabbing thing, that we used to have them when we were kids, all kids had them as toys. You had them as toys? Yeah, they were selling them in the shops. Made in Taiwan, made in Singapore. Spring-loaded kids' fake knives. So you could stab someone like 50 times with it and just on a spring. Yeah, get one of them and shiv King Charles III, see what happens. Everyone would laugh. Obviously you wouldn't die, but what the fuck would happen to you? You'd probably be riddled with bullets. before they realised it was just a come on, one idiot that shot you. Ha. It's like once you're up against that, right? Once you're up against that and you recognise that's what you're up against, like this person's omniscient, omnipotent, thinks they know everything, and also sees an attack on them as being a massive affront because they represent the entire collective. An attack on one is an attack on all in their imagination, so they overreact. The world needs to stop them being protected from being smashed into the face by reality. This should have happened, this what needs to happen. Should have happened in 2008 when the banks should have collapsed. And loads of people should have been bankrupted. And loads of people should have lost their homes. But they kicked that down the road, so reckless and frivolous behaviour by all kinds of different people, not just banks, not just people who took mortgages out, but the way that companies were outsourcing all those jobs at the same time as people were racking up all that debt. The number of jobs that disappeared in the same period as house prices are fucking ratcheting up. Just jobs just disappeared. It's like you big corporations are backing against the little guy. They're actively trying to destroy him. So they're coming at the little guy from all angles. It's like if they'd have been allowed to fail, once they started taking money, wanting to take money from them, and they said, no, you can't take our money, then all of a sudden the fucking criminal elements of it start to rattle. And it become a money spinner of its own. And it should have happened. They should have been selling the last of everything they had to pay for lawyers to stay out of jail for all the fraud they'd committed. All over the place, but nah. Now, people who get away with things like that and then just walk straight into the next bubble, crypto, tech, crypto, walk straight out of that, walk into tech and crypto. Get to win again. Everyone who got sucked into it fucking lost, got hammered for it. It's like wages stagnant for years, cost of living, as now people sort of noticing it now, but it's like you ain't. It's just accelerated. It's been getting ridiculous at a rate of knots for years. I looked at a job earlier on because I have a few searches of what was my old profession of being a professional driver. I don't know if I've got the waterworks for the job anymore though. Holding a piss for as long as that these days as I used to, that might be a problem. But I still look out for it, and I looked at a job that came up today. And I know what work they'll give me because of where I live. So I just have to ask one question if anyone's recruiting. It's like, right, I live in Rochdale, so you're just going to give me rounding up things into Manchester, aren't you? And all you're going to do is send me to Lancashire all the time. And you'll be having me working full time for about 45 quid a day. And they're like, oh, well, you could do 3 jobs a day. I says, yeah, well, I'm not working a 16-hour day to make 60 quid. Criminal, as soon as you get to talking with them, they say, well, we'll just have you rounded up in Manchester, and talking about it as if you can get from like Rochdale to Blackburn in like 5 minutes. That was a curiosity of that fellow at Rebel Media. who's a fucking idiot, that Ezra Levant. Not given credit for the size of idiot he is. I've not seen his name bandied about for a bit. He's probably had a nervous breakdown or something like that, or suffered some, ignominious defeat. But he was, someone who was like doing business with people in London and not seeming to have any notion at all as to what a fucking busy and big place London is and how difficult it is to get around. Just looking at a map saying, what's your problem? It's right there. It's 17 miles away. It's right there. Him thinking that there's like super highways and no one be able to tell him any different. And when people say, hey, you're asking the impossible, you hear him say, don't you tell me that. And then suddenly you've got a bad attitude. Ha! Like insufferableness. There's a hell of a lot of that around. Insufferableness. Make it happen. People do that make it happen shit and call it good leadership sometimes. Sometimes it is, but if you're just lazy and that's your attitude, and you don't listen, it's just a fucking cop out, isn't it? But I don't see where the pressure switch is, because it's a matter of now that no one really did anything about all that money that was printed. They were all too busy fucking trying to survive. The political class don't understand money creation or economics at all, right? Because there's people throw themselves around as being experts who don't really understand it or are deliberately holding vital information from you to make sure that you'll never really understand it. So they give you, a crystal ball, and they give you a bit of a look, like, but not long enough to digest, and then a skewed angle as to what on the internet, most of what people know as money creation is, in essence, old sort of anti-Semitic memes that rely on people not understanding the notion of asset value in the creation of credit. So they talk about fractional reserve banking, and then people will talk about banks having low reserves being susceptible to a run, and it'd be, yeah, but we've got contracts in this drawer here that says we fucking own 1,000 houses out there, and they are real life bricks and mortar. You can't say we're skint. You can't say we've run out of money. We've got all of this money on paper, and you might say, well, it's just a piece of paper. It's like, yeah, but it's a fucking contract that says we own a mortgage on a fucking house. If people don't understand that pieces of paper offset asset values, right? What something's actually worth in an open marketplace, or would cost to replace. Very difficult to sell them that there's anything wrong with fractional reserve banking. The money might come from fresh air, but the value has been agreed on what that bricks and mortar's worth. It's been taken from one party of ownership to another for an agreed fee. It ain't nothing. So when they say money out of fresh air, magic money, none of it's true. Unless you spent it on cocaine, cigarettes and alcohol, what you bought has got an asset value. Unless it was on food as well, obviously. If it wasn't a consumable item, if it wasn't perishable goods, it's still worth something, and in the world. They'll come and take your house back from you. And they win anyway. Why? Well, they'll close the business on it when they kick you out of it when you don't pay them, and they'll take the house back. And they'll they'll make on the transaction. They will make fucking money on it. They make more money on breaking people down than they do growing with them. Because that's just bullshit now, isn't it? Because banks don't offer proper interest rates, although suddenly now they are. In an effort to stifle inflation. It's like, if you want to stifle inflation, you need to cut government spending. You're trying to tackle price inflation, and that's being driven by an expansion in the money supply. And everybody fucking knows it. You give people months off work and paid the wages for them. You fucked the world up. You overspent. But now, it's like, those who don't understand money offset by value and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, if you wanted to put money into the system, the best way of doing it would be to do that furlough. If you just wanted to put a load of cash in because you wanted to just fuck the thing. That furlough, if you were looking to destroy, that was the best idea anyone's had to destroy an economy. Slow. Number of people who just put that money in the bank because they didn't need it. Number of people who started just working from home when they took transportation out of the equation for getting to work found themselves like 60 quid a week better off because of the price of fuel and the price of having a car. The price of having a car, to me as a single guy, so high. I've never been able to afford to have both a place to live and a car. If I still lived at my mother's house, I would have a car, but instead I have a place to live. It's like, I think it's absolutely strained, and it's to just burst into capacity because cash flow be a thing, right? Cash flow. People have got used to cheap credit again. Not just individuals this time. This time, municipalities, towns, cities, they've done it again and again and again, and they're about to crash. The councils are going to land in the shit. And why are they going to land in the shit? It's because they're mostly, well, the ones around here, the red wall ones, the councils are all massive commercial landlords. And what do you hear about? Places going out of business. Now, the old trick they used to do is that, to my mind, is that the council, like here, Oldham, Bury, places like that, when a building that by rights you'd think would be worth something comes on the market, they buy it to protect the market value, to protect their own investments. So my local council's got an incredible property portfolio of most of the fine buildings in the town. Turned one of them into an LGBT outreach and safe space. Seriously. Another one, department store, turned into the world's biggest fucking charity rummage shop. Turn it into a charitable thing, it sort of takes it off the table. It's an asset that's being occupied, so it holds its value. It's a scam. Occupancy scam of some kind. When reality hits and they're no longer able to afford the demand for commercial property diminishing, what are they going to do to prop that up? Well, what they'll do is they'll all look at each other, wash their hands of it, and declare themselves bankrupt like councils fucking do. Renegotiate the debt, which they've done before. So now your council tax bill, where that 5% pretense thing where they kept chuckling and putting it up like 4.99, well, that's gone out the window now. They can put it up as much as they feel they need to now. And it's like, when your council sends that, they stopped sending them now. I haven't had one, but they used to send you a breakdown of where your money went in council tax. Used to actually send you a breakdown. And the revenues were massive. Just incredible. Massive revenues. Like money. And then where's that money going? And it was like 80% of it in interest payments. And it'd be, hang on, your organisation just works straight out with the bank. Yep. Because they've got council taxpayers and you can't get away with not paying that. They fucking mess with you. Bailiffs, dickheads, eviction notices for a council tax. They can do you. They can do you in all kinds of different ways. If you're also like a social housing tenant, you have to pay them. Or they'll make your life a fucking misery. They won't leave you alone. And they'll want more money from you. So the bill starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you've tried to duck out of £300 worth of council tax and suddenly you're owing £1,500. And you've got aggressive fucking arsehole, like brick wall fucking idiot bailiffs turning up banging on your door with a very entitled and aggressive attitude as to let us in. What? No, there's no looking. Bang, in they come. Horrible. Guys who enjoy being cons. Guys who enjoy being cons will turn up and be cons just to frighten you, and then knowing that you'll be straight on the phone to the office to negotiate on whatever terms they want, because you fucking shit scared because some guy who like a fucking 6'5" version of Emil Esky just turned up on your fucking front doorstep. No one enjoys that, but that's what the council do to people who don't pay them. They've got uncosted liabilities of an unknown amount because of the wonderful pension schemes that they gave all the mates. Get with it, retiring at 60 and living till they're fucking 90 and retiring on proper wedge, like lump sum, big money. And it's like, hang on a minute, you're telling me, I hear this, of people who've had jobs and they've just worked for the local authority and things, and at retirement, they're like around a millionaire. You're a millionaire, you work for the council. Yeah, when I cashed out my pension, I got a lump sum, $500,000. Excuse me? You're entailed like that. So it's like, oh, so you've been like paid off for fucking good. It's like, where's that money coming from? It looks to me like, how could such a great deal exist? And it does. Fucking incredible company pension schemes. Once upon a time, pensions were a fucking rip-off a lot of the time. You know, it was a risk even to put your money into a pension. They've dealt with that now, though. It just becomes uncosted liabilities. You still get what they promise you. They could have lost the money fucking long ago. But they still give you. So it's working like a Ponzi scheme. Pensions. Always worked like a Ponzi scheme for my generation. Always worked like a Ponzi scheme. We're being 48 now. Always. But the uptake now on private pensions is fucking gone to shit. The only real way to have something like that going on is to work for someone like the council. rare to be seen today as to where you get your contributory pension scheme. It's like the councils, right, when they go tits, right, and they've recently had that, haven't they, where they've made massive cuts and stuff. All it means is your bins don't get emptied. The money for all the useless jobs, well, it's ring fenced, isn't it? All them people, they could cut us to say, look, we really don't need this diversity thing. We don't need this policing. We can cut the numbers down here to someone who just applies the rules. We don't need to be paying out big money to HR consultancy firms either. We don't need to be giving McKinsey any more money to tell us how to run our business and to run our decisions by. We don't need that. We don't need to be paying them hundreds of thousands a year. Where you'd want them to cut the money out, no, that's not where it'll be cut out. They'll like do things that are like inflicting more wounds, like they'll cut down the opening times for when the swimming baths are open and cut people's hours. Things like that. They'll just wipe out things that people rely on, which I think they've almost finished now, wiping out things that they used to have a part in that people relied on. I think they're out of that job altogether. Rochdale Council, to my mind now, is in the business of collecting rubbish and selling it. And we sort the rubbish for them. After that, it's then a matter of greenwashing, but fundamentally rebuilding infrastructure to suit bicycles when the roads are in fucking holes. Spending millions. That's what they're doing. They'll lay claim to be the greenest, and that means big relationships between them and civil engineering companies who are putting in fucking roundabouts for them, crossroads, lights, surveillance cameras. They put thousands of surveillance cameras up to enforce that CAS clean air zone. It's like, well, you guys, this is a thing just in general, while you guys were thinking that Parliament and Brexit and things like that meant something, you've got the biggest fucking idiots in the world run your councils. Like dumbass people who don't know anything, who just scream green and wax on about how something must be done or everyone's going to die. Fucking idiots. They just control them all. You can't talk, you can't speak against that green agenda. It just steamrolls everything. And if you're not receptive to it, you're not allowed to play anyway. You're not allowed in the place. So as long as they can call everything that and put a green smile on it, they're content that they've done their job, and they're willing to overlook anything else. That's what they all push. The dark places of the business of the local authority, they don't give a fuck about that. It's all about getting to be seen as being a big shot and being able to tell themselves that they're doing something on this great green revolution. It's a fantasy, but it's a fantasy born of despair. It's like I'll put it to you, right? Retired council workers and retired teachers, retired government workers are today's super troll political activist arseholes who never let things lie. Too much time on their hands and money. The biggest pain in the arseholes on that green side are all between 60 and fucking 70 years old and have decided, well, no, I don't have to get out of bed. every day and go to the council office or to the hospital. I can help try to save the world every day. Don't know shit. Discover a wider world, and it'd be like, hang on a minute. This internet, it's not very politically correct, is it? It's like you've got all the wrong opinions. It's like, trust me, I know. This is how it worked. This is how things, this is what reality is agreed upon where I worked. Woke reality has been something that's been a reality in the workplace, as far as I'm concerned, for the last 25 years. Great big lies agreed upon. Woke reality, and now those people, the boomers, have tried to enforce that on the world so they feel comfortable, so they feel they belong, so they don't feel as though all that shit talk and feeling good about saving the world was all for nothing. It's like an interesting concept to come up with is the demiurge. The demiurge, right? The demiurge points to itself. What would the demiurge be if we were to label the demiurge? Well, as the spells in motion, right? The big spells, the ones where you have to be a sick genius to have come up with the idea, right? Those kind of big spells that we're under the influence of. Anyone who's dead set against them all could be seen to be defining themselves to the listening audience as the embodiment of the devil or the demiurge. By my estimation, the demiurge is a racist, sexist, climate change denying, homophobe, transphobe, Islamophobe, Christianophobe, xenophobe, sinophobe, and arachnophobe. And when they look at you, they could apply every one of those labels to you. I'm alright around spiders, actually. Make friends with them quite often. But that was the red herring, the one I put in to throw you off. But all the rest, it all could be said, based on their way of looking at things. Things I've said, or opinions of, or generalizations I may have made in the past could be seen as being all of those things. So I point to myself, don't I, as the devil. I'm everything you're not supposed to be by their rules. So, aren't I the demiurge? Aren't you the demiurge if you share the same position as I do on all those simplified, meaningless topics? Aren't you the demiurge too? Yes, you are. So it's like when they decide they've identified their enemy, who've they identified? The devil. The demiurge. He's racist, he's sexist, he's a homophobe, he's a climate change denier, he's all of the things that the devil is. All of the things that we've been told are so bad. So you need to recognize that that's who you are, that's who they've painted you as, that's who they've decided you are, and it's like, do you know what an incredible position of power that is? Do you know how open they've left themselves to counterattack? So you've painted your opponents the demiurge, the modern devil. When strangely, the modern devil is strangely reminiscent of like the Protestant God of about 100 years ago. the Almighty or the boss even. What? It's like you've punished God. And now he's just against you. Just against you. You've punished God so much, he's created these demiurge forces that know the rules, and everything you say is off, and they just know. It's like the moral compass says, well, that's off, that's off, that's off. An ability to discern one person from another gives you the ability to just throw every label in the bin and say, well, that's not true of all, is it? So maybe we should start thinking and looking at things on an individual basis as to where we know what people are capable of, but what did that cunt do? What's he capable of? How dangerous is he? What a piece of work is that? It's like we miss all of the value, all of the content, good or bad, in humans when we just slap a fucking lazy label on them. Because it might just be true of them, but it's a matter of leave the door open to these fucking arseholes who say, no, you criticise him, you criticise me. Throw down back and hard as to say, well, I am sane. I reserve the right to judge. I am the demiurge. That's what I'm known to do. The thing you fear the most embodied in human form, looking right at you. That's the card to play back. That is the one. You look that beast straight in the face and say, yeah, I'm everything that you think I am. But from the other side of the aisle, they kind of like me. They root for me. They're thinking, yeah, he's all right. He could help. He's all right. He's one of us. But when you look at the same person, you see that bigoted judge, potential liar, someone who's going to pull the rug absolutely, completely in by saying, no, I don't mean you any harm. No, I don't mean to have all your stuff taken off you. And I don't mean to send you off on cattle trucks to be thrown in a landfill. No, I don't mean to do any of that, and then do it. You think about how much they feared and fear Donald Trump as to that they've decided that they know exactly who he is. And it's given him an infinite ability to surprise them and gaslight the fuck out of them because of all the power that they've given him in pointing and saying devil. So that's the lesson to learn. That's become a thing. The left have decided who the devil is, and he's a white man. They've decided. It's not whether we get around to working out that they're a sort of even. I don't like saying demonic because that's a cop-out. It's like, so they are under the influence of somebody else. No, I think they're cunts. And that's kind of an excuse. It's like to step away from it. But that kind of set of cunts who run their mouths like that, yeah, we've got a world full of them. I even know where they come from. I know how they're created. But, hey, you know, you all know where they come from, don't you? You all know how they're created. I think everyone knows now.